Alright, welcome to the All Weather Haulage channel and 2025 on the All Weather Haulage channel. I feel like the tides have changed for Eurorack, and it may just be where I am. I started maybe about 2 years or so ago, and I was all about collect, and there were lots of people selling and trading. And now I feel like I'm at a point where my goal for 2025, one of my goals, is to pare down. I've got these 2 cases, I've got all these modules that don't fit, and I need to pare down and only have in my cases the modules that should be there, like, or that I use a lot. For example, I traded one of my modules. I might rank the ones. Last year I ranked the modules that I traded through the previous year. I traded my maths, which is a fantastic module, for frames, because I thought at the time I gotta collect mutable instruments. They're no longer around. I could always get another maths, which I still think is good thinking, but I've never used frames. So I don't know. I don't know if it was a good swap out there. I want to do a couple things, so I need to pare these down. I'm also into pedals, so one cool video that coming in 2025 is I was lucky enough to get a Chase Bliss mystery box, so hopefully whenever that comes I'll be able to check out what I get. But I also want to start up my generative music project again and get to some more covers. I've just finished covering my own band, the Here project, where I covered a whole bunch of Cyanide Kiss tracks, and which weren't as popular. The big covers are more popular, and somebody suggested I do the Beatles, which I think would be popular. That was one of my most popular ones, my top 10 Beatles tracks, which I may try and get to over the course of this year. But also my generative stuff was pretty fun too. So I either need to, while I'm doing all that, I think I'm gonna focus on some of these modules like the Nebula, that I never really jived with it, but I never really gave it a chance. I started out the Here project doing some stuff with it, but then immediately took a detour and went in a different direction. And maybe there's more like that. Like, for example, I sat down, I haven't used the Keystep Pro to control this in a long time, and I was playing with the Osiris and my brand new Mother 32, and I was setting up for a different video, and I just happened on this, which I think sounds pretty cool. And so then I tried to sequence it up, and I don't even know that I necessarily would have played this, but the Osiris was out of tune, and it got me playing in a different tuning, and just kind of happened, which I think sounds pretty cool. So I've been focusing more a little bit on these MIDI controlled ones, but maybe I need some of these in here, which is why I want to give them their time. But what I've noticed is trading is a lot harder, and in 2020, towards the end of 2024, and I imagine in 2025, and as well. But maybe it's me. There are specific things that I want, and I think all I'm really excited for right now is to try the Disting NT. I love the Disting EXs, and the Disting NT is like a souped up one. Maybe an Oxy Coral, maybe. The Disting EXs can do all the plat stuff, and an Oxy Coral is just kind of 8 plats, so maybe. I've just gotten into the Mother 32 and the DFAM, which you can hear on this that's going on. So I think I want to try a subharmonicon. And the Noise Engineering Gamut Repetitor, which I see a lot of people posting for sale, which is a little bit scary. But speaking of generative stuff, I feel like it's like a souped up Mutable Instruments Marbles, which I have a clone of somewhere, but not here, obviously, which is an okay one too. Now, I don't know if people aren't trading as much, or people are getting out of modular, or VSTs in 2025 are becoming so good people are switching back into the digital audio workstation. I don't know, but trading is becoming quite a bit more difficult. So what I want to do is I want to rank some of the ones that I've traded. I had a Maths, which I traded for frames. Maths was fantastic. I would probably go back and purchase that one again. Polycinematic, I don't know. See, the Polycinematic uses a daisy seed. And one thing that I read and that I was experiencing, I really wanted a Polycinematic and a Pianophonic, both Knobula modules, but they freeze. And kind of like in the Zoya Eurobureau, you can see the percentage of memory or whatever you're using. I wonder if I was putting so much work into the Polycinematic, it would just freeze. Now apparently it's the same thing for the Pianophonic, so I don't know. Mavis Iteritas, I traded. Mavis Iteritas, Kinks, chip, cells, and function junction, I all traded for this L20, and I absolutely love the L20, so I think it was a fantastic trade. And I had to throw in the Mavis Iteritas, even though I love the Mavis Iteritas, because chip, cells, and function junction are almost impossible to trade away or to sell. Not because they're bad, I love them. Well, I don't really love cells at all, but chips and function junction were pretty good. I think the design of them was terrible, like the look, but other than that they were pretty good. But someone wanted all three of those and my Mavis Iteritas and my Kinks for this, so I had to do that trade. Mavis Iteritas, fantastic. Chips, it did what it was supposed to. Function junction, it did what it was supposed to. Cells, I could never get to do anything good. Dofer sequential switch did what it was supposed to do. I never really jived with it though, but it wasn't bad. And the Befaco instrument input, I got rid of it and got ears to save space. It was 11 HP. I had the first version of it. This one is 4. If you really like the switches, so one thing that the ears doesn't have is the switches to change the sensitivity of the gate in the envelope. If you got the Behringer, I believe it's called the Radar, which is their remake of ears, it has all those switches on the front in 6 HP, so still about half the size. I'm not sure really the state of Eurorack in 2025, but again, I'm excited on those few modules that I want to get, and I hope to keep building and creating. Another thing that I'm hopefully finishing off my Detours album April 1st. It'll be out there, and there have been talks about maybe some Robot Apocalypse being released this year, which is pretty cool. Anyways, stick around, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and hopefully at least 2 videos per month coming right here on the All Weather Haulage channel. That was a nice ending.